Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today we're going to do another Project Life flashback where we look at the month of May 2020. So I'm doing a 12 by 12 album for 2020. I did about maybe 8 weeks of this last year, and then just kind of got busy with everything else. And so this year, if you have been following along for 2022, I'm doing 3 years, 2020, 21, and 22. And I'm just trying to stay current where we are in the calendar year for all 3 years. So I'm just making sure I've got May done by the end of May and April done by the end of April and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and look at where we left off last month. Let's get you in the frame there. Hopefully that's good enough. And I know there's going to be a little glare, so I apologize for that. For week 19, I only had just a very few pictures. I had some memes as per usual at this point in the pandemic. And so I included several things about that. And I really only had one current picture that I chose to include. And it was just these dill pickle pretzel cravings that, oh my goodness, I had forgot about them. But they were so good and I need to find some more. I think I had to order them online to get them, and yeah, they were just really good, so I included that. And then I had this time hop that I had done a screenshot of from 5 years before, or you know, it came up in my time hop as being 5 years before, and I screenshotted it in 2020 because I had had neck surgery. We did some spinal fusion on May the 4th, Star Wars Day of 2015. So I just included that in here. And I thought this was pretty appropriate for the picture next to it for next week. It says when dog groomers go into lockdown and the customers are left to their own devices and this poor little dog looks pitiful. And that's how Ellie kind of ended up looking when we had to bathe and groom her at home ourselves instead of her going to her fabulous groomer for a little while there. So I will say all of the cards are from the Stories by the Year kit from Allie Edwards. I'm pretty sure that came out last year. So either they're the physical or the digital, and if they're digital, there's a good chance I may have changed colors and things like that. This one I printed digitally because I had already used the others. This one I printed digitally and changed the color because, you know, the hearts are just kind of a good, you know, generic thing to use, and I needed something with a little bit more muted color, and the gray worked well with some of my photos. The embellishments, there's not many of them, but the embellishments that I used all came from the May 2020 Stories by the Month kit. So here I've got 3 pieces of wood veneer. I think there were 2 left, and they said like maybe friends and love you or something. So very easy to use in many different types of spreads. So I know I'll be able to use those up. And then let's look at week 20, which was May the 10th through May the 16th. Again, I had a few pandemic related things. And then I had a ton of pictures. I'm about 99% sure this was Week in the Life year for 2020. I have not finished that yet, so I'm kind of, that's the 1% of doubt that I have, but I'm pretty sure this was the week based on all the different kinds of photos and screenshots that I took. So I just picked a few things that seemed very pertinent at the time. And I'll read the journaling and kind of show you the pictures as we go. But again, everything is either Stories by the Year kit if it's cards, or Stories by the Month kit if it's embellishments. So I wrote here that Ellie had a rough week. She had to have a bath and mini grooming session at home, and she had to visit the vet for some surgery. And this card is another one that I changed the color and printed out at home, but it is from the same Stories by the Year kit. Then we ventured out for the first time in 2 months. We shopped at Home Depot and Walmart. Then we ate out at Red Lobster, and I put it seemed very strange. So all of these cards, I had already just randomly printed out colors, so they don't match 100%, but it's what I had already done, and so I just used them. And then for the last photo, I said I had my first ever virtual doctor's appointment. I hope this method stays around after the pandemic is over. I only dress for business from the waist up. So I had on like a nice blouse up top, and then I just had my pajama bottoms on, and they didn't match. And I just thought that, again, was just very pertinent to the sign of the times that we were living in 2020, which, you know, now we see more common to it, but at the time in 2020, it was a big deal. So I have chipboard that I've used here on all of the photos and my title card. It says May Stories. On Ellie, I put the hard part because she did have a rough week. 'Tis the season to celebrate because we were so happy to be able to go out and do some shopping and get some supplies we needed. Gotta love this on my food. And then on my photo down here, I put the easy part. And so those were some that just kind of made sense for my stories. Then for week 21 and 22, I think this photo had come from week 21 and the rest of them were week 22. So I don't have any problem combining weeks. It doesn't bother me at all to do that. I don't feel the need to stress out over trying to figure out how I'm going to make, you know, one photo make a whole layout. So I don't have any problem at all mixing those together. Again, the cards are all from the Stories by the Year kit, and these all actually were in their original physical form. I did put the band of white here over it so I could stamp. Even though this is a cream-based card, I'm just going with it. So up here, I said we picked up a to-go order from Fresh Air Barbecue. It was yummy as always. Life almost seemed to be back to normal. Almost. Praying that happens soon. And my chipboard says, say yes. This chipboard says say no because I was dirty and showing how my shirt was dirty from working out in the yard. This one says May looked like this, where I was all sweaty from being out in the yard. And the card, thankful, counting blessings. I'm so thankful we have been able to get outside and work in the front flower beds. They needed attention and we needed a distraction, something other than COVID-19. We put in a lot of sweat equity the last 2 weeks. And then this was me out another day. I think I had gone to the grocery store by myself for the first time since the pandemic had started. So, you know, about 2.5 months at this point. And I just put what I learned in May up there. And so this would have been like my first mask selfie. So that was why I included that one. And then a couple of pictures down here where we were ripping out what was in our front flower bed. And then you probably can't see it, but my husband's down here in the dark, still trying to get the last few flowers planted for that day. And so I took a picture because he works so hard. So that is what I have for the month of May 2020 in my Project Life album. So we'll end the video here, and I appreciate you stopping by so very much. It means more to me than you will ever know. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that, as well as follow me over on Instagram. If you enjoyed the video and taken a look back in my album with me, I would love a thumbs up down below. I always leave a lot of stuff linked in the description box that I use most often. And if the Stories by the Year kit is still available digitally, I will link that as well. It was a couple months ago when I looked, I think, but I'll double check and make sure before I include the link. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you just as quickly as I can. Other than that, until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.